I've had some major challenges in my life since recovering from post-traumatic stress.
Welcome to Beyond the Beers. Men breaking the stereotype through conversation. We men love a good yarn, some banter, even better over a beer or tea. Sadly for many men, it never goes deeper than that. This show is a place for men to go beyond the surface level conversations, a chance to learn, listen, laugh and grow. I'm your host Mike Campbell, man coach and author of Amazon bestseller for men's health, Unleash Your Alpha. Let's break stereotypes through conversation. Let's go beyond the beers. On today's show, I have with me James Greenshields. Now, James led over 100 frontline soldiers for Australia in combat in Iraq during 2006 and 2007. Then on April 23, 2007, James and his convoy were hit by a roadside bomb. Like many others, when he returned home to Australia, he came back a very different person. He was angry. He was detached from his wife and kids. James didn't realise that the hollowness and anxiety he was feeling was a sign that he was within the grips of post-traumatic stress disorder. He didn't know how to communicate that intense hollowness and separation he was feeling. Like many men and many soldiers, thinking that he should have all the answers himself led him into a dark and difficult place. Now, James chose to go outside the military to seek help for his post-traumatic stress and recovery, and that story of recovery and the journey home, as he calls it, to the real James, is a truly remarkable and inspiring one, and it is exactly why I wanted to have James speak at the recent Beyond the Beers event. This interview is part of that day. James initially stood up and shared a keynote speech with us, which was an absolutely remarkable and inspiring talk. Afterwards, him and I sat down to have a chat and go beyond the beers. Is there anything, I suppose, in your life where you maybe segment? Do you have situations, guys, people that you do the banter, stick to the surface? And then is there other areas where you go deeper, or can you intertwine those?
I think to walk the streets, you have to be able to intertwine, because there are some people who don't want to go beyond the beers. Would I be right? There's some people who just do not want to go there. I had a great conversation with Dave last night, lasted 3 hours. You and I connected really, really quickly like that, and you know, all of a sudden we had to get off the phone because we had to go and do other things. A couple of nights ago, I had another great conversation with a guy, and then in between all that, one of my daughter's friends, her father, wanted to have a beer with me. And I asked myself, do I want to have a beer with him? Yes. So I went in, and he just wanted to grill me about, you know, the Battle of Lontan and, you know, the geopolitical situation, and it was all surface. And he actually didn't really care what I thought. He was an angry individual who is really angry at himself for allowing himself to not go out and fulfill what he knows he could do in life, for being scared. Does he acknowledge that in himself? No. Is it my job to tell him that? No. Because I would hurt him. And he hasn't got the skills and the tools to actually be able to deal with that wound. So I think entwining, mate, is a really important thing, and realising I'm on my own journey too. You know, when I work with people around a campfire or whatever, I love to say to them, listen, I'm climbing my own mountain face over here. You know, it's just that you're on your mountain face over there, and you can't quite see where the next hold is. So I'm just going to tell you, yeah, bit your left hand, put it up a bit to the right, and there, you've got a hold there. It doesn't mean to say I'm not struggling to grab with my right hand on this hold over here. I'll give you the big tip. And I've had some major challenges in my life since recovering from post-traumatic stress. But at the same time, so I use my friends now to say, hey, Cheese. Cheese is my nickname if you haven't figured that out. When I talk third person, I go Cheese. Put your hand there, and I'm right.
Cool. And so let's break that down in terms of now. Maybe when you were very much in a case of a place of post-traumatic stress, and then prior, when you were maybe first kind of getting into the military and stuff. Was there a difference there in the people that you were talking to and what where the conversation was going?
Yeah, so Dad, I mentioned before, he was an Anglican priest, a farmer, a chaplain to the army, to the Country Fire Authority and to the police. And then Mum was a teacher at the Roman Catholic school. So I grew up on a farm in every conservative paradigm imaginable, which is why I used to call myself an institutionalised moron. So I then went from, I used to say, deported out of country Victoria to boarding school in Melbourne, straight out of an all-male boarding school into the military. So yeah, you can imagine the paradigms which I came to life with. As a young kid though, I was bullied extensively. I jumped on a school bus that would drive us an hour out of town, and they would take me and smash me into power poles. The year 12s would beat the shit out of me when I was only 12 years old. So I learnt the wildebeest technique, which was the lionesses go for the fringe dwellers of the wildebeest. So if I'm in the centre with lots of friends around me, then I am more protected. So I became very gregarious and able to have acquaintances. Difference between friends and acquaintances, would you agree? Yeah, so I had a lot of acquaintances, which in my mind I actually linked as friends. So it became really important for me to satisfy other people's needs and caress their egos and make them like me, because that was my self-defense mechanism. Bring me into the military as a leader. If you have that characteristic and you have to tell someone go and they might not come back because of the decision you make, that's not a good subconscious program to have within your system. And I still had it, and it played out. But at the same time, my level of training was able to offset that so that I could go to a default leadership setting that I needed to play. But at the same time, it would creep in unbeknownst to me every now and then.
What's your driver?
What's my driver? Fuck, men. I just want men to own their shit.
Yep.
I really do. I've been in the pain, guys. You know, I've sat there and how the fuck do I remove myself from the planet? You know, it'd be so easy to just leave right now, and everyone would be better for it, because shit, they wouldn't have to put up with my shit. And I've been there, done that, you know, and even driving the car, just looking at that truck and holding the steering wheel straight was really, really hard. You know, and there's a lot of people don't understand how many suicides actually go on, because single vehicle accidents aren't recorded as suicide. Yet there's an incredible amount of single vehicle accidents which are suicide. We've got a tradie committing suicide every fucking second day in this place. Veterans have got this I've served, therefore I deserve fucking mentality, which is killing them. It's crippling them. This entitlement mentality has just cut into our society so deep that we believe we should get it all on a silver platter. Guys, wake the fuck up. Life ain't a silver platter, and you would not enjoy it if it was. So stop trying to prove ourselves to anyone else and just be me. And since I've been able to do that, fuck, my world's opened up. You know, and I'm a so much better parent. I'm a so much better lover. And for me, for a while, I had issues in the bedroom. I couldn't get that masculine sexual confidence about me, because I chose to be shamed at a very young age in a changing room at a swimming lesson. And me and my penis, you know, besides cunt being the worst thing you could call another person, by the way, again, like pussy, the thing we most crave, then it goes cock, dick, penis, doesn't it really? So what we've done is taken our sexual organs, the thing which actually bring life and are miracles unto themselves, we've shamed ourselves from it, and we've shamed our sexuality. So I had to release that shame in myself. And when I go in and understand, and please, gents, I know this is going to be recorded, once you understand what I'm going to say, very respectful and sacred. I teach young men this very young. We put a rite of passage thing. A woman's area, a woman's genitalia is sacred. And she's allowing us, I shouldn't say us, because that's, again, I'm a visual person, so I've gone multi-dimensional on that. But she's allowing me into her most sacred, reverent space. That is a sacred act. If I violate that and I don't help her by allowing her to trust me, then holy fuck. You know, what's our relationship going to be like, you know? So I don't have sex with Kirsty anymore. I can't. If we're not communicating, I can't get that feeling that I want to make love. And I'm a fairly high libido dude, you know? I love sex or making love. But I can't do it anymore if I'm not openly communicating with her, because it means I'm not openly communicating with myself. Yep. So I go inside myself and I get really centered, and then she wants me to take control at times. At times, she wants me to take control. She wants me to fuck her like I want to fuck the world. But when I use that term, it's a reverent term. because she wants that energy being vectored and her to, remember, who here reckons you make a woman come? Biggest misunderstanding men have, you do not make women come. A woman allows you to help her make her come. One simple mindset. And to do that, generally she'll have a vaginal orgasm. Sorry, correction, clitoral orgasm. If she goes both clitoral and vaginal at the same time, who's had to hold on for dear life when she's going off like a frog in a sock? Yeah? And I guarantee you that hasn't come by just having sex. I'll guarantee you two were connected in some way, shape or form, and she trusted you. When Kirsty allows and trusts me and lets herself go and relaxes, she hits the fucking roof. Yeah, and I do hold on like a minute, and you know, you get the cramps and you get the gut ache. It's true. Am I right? Yeah. So that's because we create and hold space. Dave said it before. We hold space in a sacred thing. We allow the woman to be herself, and she then goes in a direction that she wants to go. If we learn that, and we just concentrate on ourselves and go into that confidence, the bedroom's awesome. Sorry.
Nice. How are we feeling?
Who needs to leave right now?
Mate, okay, so we're going to wrap up. I want to ask you one question, and that is something that's quite often maybe cliche in an interview, and it's what would you say to the younger James? But I want to flip it around. When did you enter the military?
The age 18.
Okay. If the 18-year-old James was sitting here, what would he say to you? He's witnessed this. Let's say he's witnessed this so far.
I'm proud of you.
And do you think he would recognise? Do you think he'd be a bit perplexed? Do you think he'd be like, oh, okay, I don't know the path to that, but maybe it'll happen? Like, what do you reckon?
He's in tears.
Yeah.
He's in tears and he's proud of me.
Very nice. So, and I asked that question because I think it's something important for all of us to think about. I think it's very easy to say, oh, what would I say to my younger self? But actually, what would that younger self say to you or think about you, or what kind of a conversation would that be? I think that was very cool. Like what you see in this short version of the show? Well, there is plenty more that you can watch in the full version. To do that, go to beyondthebeers.tv. There you can sign in to watch the rest of the episode for free, as well as all the other episodes of the show. Otherwise, make sure you share this video with at least one man who you think will enjoy it or benefit from it. And go out into your own life and start having these more meaningful conversations. Ask for help. Ask a mate how he's really doing and connect with him. Or if he just wants to have a real conversation and go beyond the beers.